Hey, I actually did it. Never thought I would. But I actually read Batman Year One, written by Frank Miller, art by David yeah, you know who. Colored by Richard Lewis, and lettered by Ton Klein, aka My Bane. Um, well, not Bane my existence because the biggest hump in this book is not the story, is not character contradiction, it is not stupidity of character acting upon each other. It's nothing in plot. It is primarily technical. And that has to be Ton Klein's lettering of Bruce Wayne's internal thoughts. And it's done in cursive. And the pen is quite thick, so kind of words muddle together. And plus this is back in 1986, before like slick comic look to it, so it has that little bit of muddiness to it that, like how older film back then, like 80s, 90s, had a little fuzz to them onto the screen, and it has that too. I like that. I just texture adds to the fantasy. The problem with this is just, I have to squint and look and really try to get into Bruce's head. It's making me do some extra work. And Gordon, I can totally boom, 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 read that like nothing. It's like reading Bruce's internal monologue is like, it's a challenge. And I think Steve told me he Death God Storm, aka the Batman Professor, who's giving me a timeline, and next up is the Man Who Laughs, because I'm OCD, and I want to get into Batman. I want to know Batman. I want to get into his psychology, his ideology, his thoughts, his feelings. It's just, he's the only interesting character, and he's tortured. And I know something about myself between Wolverine, the Punisher, and the Hulk. They're damaged in some ways, and that makes them interesting. And that's the only reason I give a fuck about Batman. He's the only character in the whole DC, next to Wildcat, but he's been written out of DCU because of the new 52. But it was really an uphill battle, but the story in itself, I feel, primarily is Gordon's story. Batman's maybe a third of it's two-thirds Gordon. But we do get some really good Batman moments, him screwing up, him not being on the ball, him just learning because no one has ever done this before, and him trying to work out his minutia. And it's very interesting. We get good bits with him, and of course when I do read Batman, I do hear Kevin Conroy's voice in my head. Gordon, it's probably just my voice because I can't really think of that. Maybe Gary Oldman would be good. Stylistically, I love the art. David art is quite good. Frank Miller's writing's not. It's good. It's good. Just it seems like Frank Miller's gotten this reputation over the years of gone crazy, like many other groundbreaking directors or writers. Like, say, people think George Lucas went insane. I don't think he went insane. I just think, he did what he did. He took a risk. So screw you if you hate the prequels. Always have to twist that knife in. Or Chris Claremont, which I've heard from. I haven't read any X-Men Forever, but I've heard he's also gone off the deep end, proverbially. But whatever. It's hard if you have been stapled or labeled a groundbreaking. You have some form of groundbreaking work. That sense of great expectations is laid upon you, and that is stressful. Okay, let's see what else here. I got my paper, with my notes, and Bruce's obsession. One thing about Frank Miller, he's not. He probably, by today's standards, this book would be considered politically incorrect because lots of smoking and battering of women, primarily by Batman. Because there's a scene where Batman goes on a reconnaissance mission, and he's getting seized up by some prostitutes, and there's an altercation, and he straight up punches them. Because it's fine, it's fiction, and it's not right hitting women. Everybody knows that. It's funny because, you know, when you think of Batman, you think lawful good, and when you think the Punisher, chaotic good type personality. But what's kind of funny, every time I see Punisher dealing with prostitutes, he walks up to the pimp, snaps his neck, and he divides the wealth between them, trying to help them. I love that. I love that whole sympathy he has for and empathy he has for the prostitutes and trying to help them out. I love that. That's fantastic. Adds a layer of humanity to his character. With Batman, it was just unexpected. Gordon is put through the ringer in this book. It's fucking shame. He's the underdog. He's getting beat up by Gotham because Gotham chews you up and spits you out and just kicks you in the teeth afterward. Because it's a rough town. You gotta be dirty to survive. And dirty cops are the only ones survive, and all the cops are dirty, primarily. Catwoman's in here. I don't know why. Selina kind of comes off as a butch dominatrix misandrist. Nothing really much I can add to her character. She's in here because Batman and her don't really have a real kind of... They don't have a real interaction. They've crossed paths, but they haven't exchanged words. Harvey Dent's introduced. Everything, it's a great story. Check it out. It's interesting. And just my only condemnation of this book, my only swipe against it was Todd Klein's lettering of Bruce Wayne's internal monologue. It nerfs the book. It's a big fucking wound to the book. And it's a shame because it's a great story. It's a great gritty crime drama. You get into Gordon's head far more than I find than you do Batman. And it really is a start of a beautiful relationship of Batman and Gordon fighting crime and all that fun jazz, because I want to get into this. And next up is, because my friend Steve, Death God Storm, has made me a list of the Batman timeline. I'm going to try to follow that and try to see who's this crazy, rich, flying rodent and his adventures. And, yeah, peace out.